What body type do you find most attractive?
I like strong arms. Doesn't mean you have to be super muscular. Just strong looking, if that makes sense.
So the anchor arms from SpongeBob are fine? Form over function. How very 21st century of you.
Shapeshifter. I like the variety.
I'm sensing some commitment issues here.
My wife's.
Cute.
His wife.
Your wife's.
Our wives. Oh dear.
Their wives.
At least they all seem to be really good at sharing.
Women!
That narrows it down to roughly half the world's population.
Preferably with a pulse. Preferably.
Not a deal breaker though. The ability to compromise is always so admirable to see. Did you get banned from the morgue? I know they're not as classy, but graveyards are a solid alternative.
I like short men with stocky builds and broad shoulders.
So you like men built like Gimli?
Gimli, son of Glowin. All other men are inconsequential when compared to this bearded, dwarfen thickness.
I like a Strat better than a Les Paul.
This is the guitar equivalent of the ass or boob debate.
I'm a Telecaster man.
And there's the widow that's into toes.
Did you just assume my fender?
Such a boomer thing to do. What does a dead give away that someone is a bad person?
Why does everyone think I'm an asshole?
Then proceeds to say that everyone else is a bunch of assholes. If you are driving and you meet an asshole, you meet an asshole. If you're driving and everyone you meet is an asshole, you are the asshole. Main character syndrome is one of a hell of a drug.
They tell you how nice they are. I always wonder, how are you trying to convince me or you?
If you've been an asshole your whole life, you'll probably forget all of your imaginary qualities as well.
You're all murdery and shit.
Definitely a dead giveaway.
Yeah, especially when they get all stabby and shit. Like, bro, I'm trying to live, you know?
Murderer here. Yeah, we are horrible people.
Bro, have you tried, like, not murdering people?
Ew!
So inconsiderate. Murderers are people too, you know. How fact is common knowledge in your field, but almost unknown to the rest of the population.
Powerful explosives are so insensitive to shock that it usually takes a smaller, more sensitive explosive to set them off.
It's okay. Everyone needs a little help getting it up when they reach a certain age or size.
C4 will just burn if put into fire. Soldiers use it to cook food in Vietnam.
Military rations just tasted better back in Nam. Pure C4 also gets you high if you eat it. They started adding a compound into it that makes you violently sick to stop people from doing that.
You have to admire the human compulsion to get wrecked.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Generally speaking, if you add the percentage of the body covered in third-degree burns and the person's age together, you get the likelihood of being a fatal burn. 32 and 40% burn coverage. About 40% of people that are in condition will die.
100 years old and 0% burn? Sorry, pal. That burn is fatal.
The numbers don't lie.
101 years old, 0% burns?
Spontaneous combustion. 99 and you touch the stove? Instantly dead. Everyone knows that old people are more flammable. What is 25 years too old for?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Never gets old.
Like the women he goes for.
He really took the 5-year plan mentally to heart.
Playing a teenager in a movie.
However, would filmmakers and producers turn their underage characters into thirst traps with limitations like this? To say your age, ending with and a half. But people absolutely need to know that I'm incredibly older than anyone else born in my year. Teenage pregnancy. Only if you're the pregnant one. How to say fuck you to someone, but in a classy way. Have the day you deserve.
I hope the rest of your day is as pleasant as you are.
Kill them with kindness and passive aggression.
I am jealous of every person that has never met you.
Per my previous email.
I also commonly use, no doubt. Please provide the documentation supporting that.
There's nothing quite like an insult hidden behind a cooperative language.
Lukewarm regards.
Absolutely savage.
Wisdom has been chasing you, but you've always been too quick.
True poetry.
That's nice.
So that's what parents really mean when they enthusiastically give this response to their children? There's a tree that wastes its time and energy to make oxygen for you. Go and apologize to it. You can almost hear the tree's disappointment in the wind.
I hope you heal. I do desire we become better strangers.
Polite and direct. Nice. Non-Americans of Reddit. What's an American custom that makes absolutely no sense to you?
Cashiers who aren't allowed to sit doing their work. Like, why?
If we give them even a small amount of comfort, they'll still be demanding ridiculous things like lunch breaks or more pay for overtime.
Oh, I'm an older woman with Karenescu features, but also functioning sense of empathy. I should also get all with my friends and start complaining when cashiers don't have stools or chairs.
Cowing. Legends speak of a mythical being born only once in a generation under the light of a moon. She is said to bring balance to the world with joy and empathy, rather than malice and despite.
Homeowner associations dictating the smallest details of your own home.
We don't understand it either. They hold almost as much power as the IRS. Should the two ever combine forces, the end of all things would surely come. The toilet gap.
We hate it too.
It promises social interaction where people are the most vulnerable. This is how true friendships start.
How am I supposed to wink at my fellow poopers on my way to my stall without it?
See?